Hi, this is Suzanne from SL Crafts. Today I'm going to show you how to assemble my biscuit box card. Now, as you can see, it all folds flat for easy posting, and there's space on the back to write your own message. So let's get started. Okay, so once you have everything cut out, you need to fold all of the score lines on this main piece, like this. So this is the outside of the card, and this piece here is the back. And I've got this plain white panel that I'm going to glue on, and this is what you're going to write your message on. I'm using my acrylic glue for this, just because it dries really quickly. So just make sure you leave a nice even border all the way around the edge. Make sure that's all pressed down. And as you can see from this other card, that's the back of the card done. So now if you turn this piece over, and that's now the inside of the card, there are these stripy panels that need to be assembled. Now, I've already gone ahead and done 2 of them. So you need to glue the white stripe onto the panel, like this, making sure that that curved edge is lined up. Then do the same with the other one. Again, just lining it up with that curved edge and making sure that it's straight. Okay, so now these panels can be glued onto the main piece. So again, just making sure that you leave a nice even border all the way around the edge. Then once you've done that, you need to assemble the inside back panel in exactly the same way, so gluing the stripes on. And then that's going to be positioned here. Just leaving a nice even border all the way around the edge. And that's the inside of the card done. So if you turn the card back over, and there's just 3 more panels to glue on. Now on this other example that I've got here, I didn't glue the white stripes on, but you have that option whether you want to glue them on or not. I think for this one, again, I'm not going to glue them on. Okay, so this is how the outside of the card should now look. So if you turn it back over again, you now need to apply some glue to this side tab. Then line it up to the other edge. Just take some time to make sure that it's all pressed down. Then check that it folds flat both ways. Next, you're going to need the 3 insert pieces. Now these need to be folded at the score lines like this. Then apply some glue to the 2 ends of one of them. And position it so that it touches the back of the card and that it's about 4 millimeters down from the top edge. Again, just take some time to make sure that it's all lined up and straight. And then check that it still folds flat both ways. Then do exactly the same with the next one. And this time you need to position it so that it touches the other one. And again, it's about 4 millimeters down from the top edge. Then do the same with the last one. Again, just making sure that it's touching the other one. Then just check again that it all still folds flat both ways. Okay, so now you need to start assembling the biscuits. So I've got 3 here that I'm going to work on first. So for this one, you just need to glue the chocolate piece onto the white octagon shaped piece. So that should now look like this. Okay, so for this next one, you've got 4 very thin strips of card. So there's 2 long ones and 2 short ones. And I'm going to start by gluing the 2 long ones close to the centre of the biscuit. And the 2 short ones on either side. Now this can get a little bit fiddly, so I do recommend using tweezers if you have them. Okay, so now that they're all in position, you can't quite see it on this one, but I've got another one here, a lighter one that you can see more clearly how I've left an even space between all of the strips. Okay, and so for this next one, there are 8 of these sort of wedge-shaped pieces, and these all need to be glued onto this piece, making sure that you line up that curved edge on the outside. Now all of these pieces need to touch to make sure that they'll all fit on. And once you've put all 8 pieces on, it should look like this. Again, I've got another lighter version here so that you can see exactly how it should look. Okay, so that's those 3 biscuits done. So for this next one, this has got a heart shape cut out of it. So now you can choose what you want your filling to be. So I've got a red one here that could be more like jam. And I've got this brown one, so it's more like chocolate. So I'm going to glue this one onto the base. Just make sure that you've got the good side of the biscuit on the outside. So I've already gone ahead and inked around the outside edges of this biscuit. And around the inside edge of this one as well, just using some brown ink. Then I just need to glue this top piece on. And that's that biscuit finished. So I've also got the red version here. As you can see, I've added some gloss to make it look more like jam. And I'm going to do the same for this one here. So I've got this 3D gloss varnish that I'm just going to apply to the red circle. Just give it a nice thick layer. Now whilst I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to assemble this last biscuit. So this one has a line of chocolate icing that's been split into 2 parts. So this smaller piece needs to be positioned here, like this, so that the thinner end is touching the outside edge of the circle, and the other end is just touching that inner circle. And then this piece needs to be positioned so that that line continues through the inner circle, and the thinner end touches the outer edge. Now if you wanted to, you could swap the colours over. So you've got more like a chocolate biscuit with white icing on it. Okay, so now that my glossy jam has dried, I've assembled all of the biscuits. The next thing you need to do is to cut some thin acetate strips. So these are about 1 centimetre wide. Then using red liner tape, just attach them to the back of the biscuits. Then arrange them into 3 rows. So the ones at the top or at the back of the card are going to have longer acetate strips than the ones at the front. So starting with one of the back ones, you want to attach the acetate strip to the back of the insert, making sure that that tape is pressed down firmly. Then just continue putting the other ones in. Okay, so for this last biscuit, because it's right at the front, I'm just going to stick it onto the front of that insert. So I'm not going to use any acetate strip for this one. So I just need a little bit of glue on the back. So now that they're all in place, just check that it still folds flat both ways. Now all that's left to do is just to add the sentiment. Now in the download, this needs to be set to print then cut. And I'm just going to glue it to the backing panel. But you don't have to use this. You could just stamp your own sentiment, depending on what kind of card you want this to be. Then there's this little heart that I'm going to glue on top, just to finish it off. Okay, now you can just glue this straight onto the front, or you can use foam pads to give it a bit more dimension. But I'm just going to use a couple of layers of scrap cardstock. So I've got 3 or 4 strips here, just all glued together. I'm going to place that just there. So I'm just going to check that one last time to make sure that it all folds flat both ways. And so this will now fit into a 15 by 15 centimetre envelope. And there they are, biscuit box cards that you can personalise however you wish.